my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is Oliver Brinker, and today I'm going to review the latest biblical drama film that is based on an incredible true story, and that movie is 13 Lives. This movie just been released on Amazon Prime, and this movie is directed by Ron Howard and stars Colin Farrell, Viggo Mortensen, and Joe Edgerton. And this movie basically is a true story about the underground cave rescue that happened recently. A rescue mission is assembled in Thailand where a group of young boys and their soccer coach are trapped in a system of underground caves that are flooding. The rescuers must save these boys before it is too late. Now, I remember this story that happened on the news where these 12 soccer kids and their coach get trapped in these underground caves while it's flooding with a storm happening. And it was a big thing when it happened. Like, literally, this news is one of the most intense news that I've ever heard. Like, when I heard about the story, it is insane. But I do not know what happened behind the scenes. All I heard is about these boys have been rescued. So I was really interested to see Ron Howard, like, depicting on this project, depicting on the story, because I have not heard about what happened behind the scenes of how these boys got rescued. So I was interested in this movie when the trailer came out, and I think there's a lot of these movies that are coming out, because there's another one by Lionsgate that follows the exact same concept. So this movie is basically in competition, but I gotta say, guys, after I watched this movie, I just need to breathe. Like, this is absolutely, in a good way, one of the most intense films that I have seen this entire year, and Ron Howard does a brilliant job directing this movie. This film is somehow very inspiring, but also gripping as hell. Like, I just want to talk about the cinematography real quick, because this movie has some of the most realistic cinematography that I've seen in a while. This movie has a lot of underwater cave scenes that has no score. All you hear is the sound of water and breathing, because this movie took from perspectives of the rescuers in the film. So you see from their eyes perspective in the caves, and oh my god, this movie is intense. The cinematography of this film was well done, and the sound design in this film is definitely one of the best sound designs of this entire year. When you see them in these caves, there are moments I just need to pause the movie, because this film is so intense and very claustrophobic. I am that type of guy, so when I was watching this film, at times I need to close my eyes. It's that intense, and especially that it's a true story, you just think to yourself, I cannot believe these rescuers go through that shit. Like, that is insane, and this movie is insane. This rescue is very insane, but this movie is so inspiring, and it shows us that heroes can really happen in real life. These are real life superheroes that save these 13 boys. They don't give up on these boys, and I just find that so inspiring for me. The performances in this movie is fantastic. Colin Farrell, Viggo Mortensen, and even Joe Edgerton. Those three guys are amazing in this film. And what I love about them is that they are basically different people. Colin Farrell is basically playing a guy that's very passionate, and he doesn't want to give up rescuing these boys. Viggo Mortensen basically plays this guy that basically does not know if it's a good idea to save these boys from the cave, because it's dangerous and it could cause a sense of death and these boys could die. And I love those two boundaries in the film. And I thought Ron Howard depicted these guys really well, because they're real life guys, and it shows that you don't see Colin Farrell or Viggo Mortensen. You see these guys that are passionate about saving these boys, and man, this film does a great dedication to the real guys that save these boys, because these guys are real heroes. Even Joe Edgerton does a really great job in the film. He wasn't in the film all that much, but when he is in the film, he is so charming in this film, and he is just fantastic in the film. And Joe Edgerton is great for every film he does, because he's such a great actor. But also some other people are great in this film also. The guy who played the governor in the film also does a really great job in the film. You feel very sympathetic for his character. And even the families in the film are so fantastic in this film. You really feel for them. Like, how would you feel if your own son is trapped in that cave? Like, obviously, you're going to feel frightened, and you're also going to change into a completely different person, and that's the families in the film, and the actors who played them does such a great job. The story of this film is so inspiring in the film, and Ron Howard depicts these rescuers and this whole story really well. Like, this is a 2 hour and 30 minute movie, which some people could complain that this movie's way too long. I never felt bored in this movie because I was so invested in this rescue in the film. I was so invested in what they actually did with these boys in the film. There are certain elements where I'm like, oh my god, that's actually very smart, but also risky as hell. But you really follow the story really well. And I love films based on true stories. I always find it so fascinating with me. So, to me, I have a heart spot with these movies, and 13 Lives is definitely one of my heart spots of the year, and also for survival true story films in general. There are a couple of nitpicks with this film. I would say, yeah, I can tell that this movie is a long movie. Like, it's 2 hours and 3 minutes long. There are some scenes that I'm like, okay, it's not boring, it's well done, but they did drag on just a little bit. And I know it's going through so much of the process of how to rescue these boys, but there are just so much elements of the film where I'm like, okay, it is dragging on a little bit. And a little nitpick of the film is that it didn't show how these boys get trapped in the cave, like how the flood is basically trapping them in the caves. It kind of explains it, and I do wish we could have seen that actually happening, because it opens up with the boys going into the caves, but then it just cuts to just the rainstorm, and that's it. It just goes to a news report saying, oh, these boys have been trapped. And I wish we do see, like, how they get trapped. I want to see how the process happened. But, you know, the guys who play the 13 boys in the film does such a great job in the film, and we do get to see a lot of them in the film, but this film does a great job of depicting the story about the rescuers, how they save the boys, how they're passionate about saving these boys, and I thought Ron Howard depicted these guys really, really well. Guys, I would even say, like, 13 Lives overall is probably one of the most underrated films of the year. I don't think much people have seen this film, and I think you should check out 13 Lives, especially if you want to know the story about how this rescue happened and the process and stuff. I think Ron Howard directed this film very, very well, and the performances by Colin, Farrell, Viggo, Mortensen, and Edgerton, they did such a great job in this film. This is definitely one of the most intense films of the year, especially when it comes to the cinematography and the sound design, and I just find the story very beautiful about these guys not giving up saving these boys. Guys, check out 13 Lives on Amazon Prime, because I am going to give 13 Lives an A. So guys, that is my review for 13 Lives. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Do you like the movie, hate the movie, or you thought it's okay? Just let me know in the comments below. That is my review for 13 Lives, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Facebook, Twitter, Letterboxd. Keep contact with me. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. And have a nice day.